Let's do this.
Yeah.
So, welcome to another Peace Project interview. And today I am talking with fellow calmologist and also seriously cool person, Mina Andersson. Hi, Mina.
Hello, Mickey. Thank you for inviting me.
You're very welcome. So where are you calling in from today?
I am calling from Norway, actually.
And so it's very dark there. So you're an hour ahead of us. You're in Europe. And tell us how we know each other.
We met through the Calm Academy that Sandy has. And you were my first contact through the school. Yeah. I sent in some questions when I first heard about the Academy, and Becky Godfrey answered.
Yeah.
So that's how, yeah, that was my first contact.
So you've done a training course, and in that training course, you learn lots of different techniques and approaches to experience more peace and more calm in your life and things like that. Tell me, have you always been like a peaceful, calm person? Yeah, have you always been like that?
From the outside, I probably looked like it, but on the inside, I have always struggled. I would say, yeah. My mind has a tendency to be very overactive. And I have been, yeah, like a slave to it my whole life. Up until, yeah, the Calm Academy.
So how did that look like for you? Because I totally hear what you say about like on the outside, you can seem like, you know, a calm person, peaceful person, easygoing. But what did that mean? What were you experiencing like day to day if you said that you were a slave to your mind?
Oh wow. Well, something worth mentioning is that I have been like struggling with eating disorder thoughts and body dysmorphia since I was about 10 years old. So a lot of my days were spent like looking at my body and defining my value from how I looked, being obsessed with food and exercise. And if I looked a certain way that my mind like approved of, it was a better day, but it was never good enough. And then some days where it wasn't good enough, it was always like restrict, exercise more, and like always this cycle, never ending cycle of getting somewhere. But when I was at my worst, I were far more from it than I ever thought. And I just continued like, I will get there, even though I knew I was getting worse, like mentally and physically. So yes, that was my life up until about a year ago.
And so, I mean, it sounds to me like, and I think what you've just said, and thank you for that, really beautiful and that really honest share, because I think a lot of people would relate, particularly around the ideals people have about our body and how it should look. And I think I would be more surprised to find somebody that didn't feel that way about their body in the modern world, as opposed to those that do. I think there's secretly a bit of a pandemic around that. And I know for myself as a young kid, like even as a young kid, my body wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And I look back now and I just think I would love to have that body now. Yeah. And yet even then I was dissatisfied. And I just think, and I look at my nieces and I really hope they don't feel that way about their body.
No.
Because it causes a lot of suffering.
Mm-hmm.
It means that we don't get to enjoy life as much because we're so busy like restricting our food or exercising or criticizing ourselves or trying to cover up our flaws. So you say this is your life until about a year ago. What would you describe your relationship with your body and your mind now?
Now it's I've gotten a huge appreciation for my body. Like I'm okay with it, but it's like this inner appreciation for it, but it's still this active thing up here that says it's need to change that, that's not good, no, not acceptable, go hide yourself, blah blah blah. But it's still this inner, like, yeah, appreciation for it, because it's always been there. Like through thick and thin, it has always been there. Like if it's hungry, it tells me. Like it's not bad to be hungry. Or if I don't feel like exercising, then I probably shouldn't. Like it's so clear in its communications, and it has always been. And I've grown a lot of appreciation for it.
Sounds to me like you're much more friends with your body now.
Yeah.
Than you used to be.
Yeah, definitely.
And so what like tools worked for you to help create this shift? Because I'm guessing you must have, did you reach a point where you just went, enough is enough?
Yes, I did. But it was so sneaky. Like I didn't even know that I was still in it. I will share a little bit about it. When I was, I'm 27 today.
Today?
No, today, a week ago, the 5th. Oh, the 5th I turned 27.
Hello Capricorn, happy birthday for last week. I was Wednesday.
Yeah, happy birthday to you too. Yeah, so when I was 19, I think. Yeah, I was 19. I was about to graduate. It was 6 months until I was graduating school. And I had been trying to manipulate my body since I was 10, but I hadn't done anything like seriously, actively to do it, just restricting a little bit here, cutting that out, exercising a bit more, and being just not as obsessed. Like I still had a life. But when I turned 19, I wanted to get fit for graduation. And I just fell into the loophole. And what saved me was that I didn't want to end up in hospital. Like my vanity was so huge that I didn't want to end up like a stick, like a typical anorexia look. I didn't like that. So I knew that something was wrong and I needed to take myself out of it. And I thought that I had like taken myself into the road to recovery, but I had just switched. So I switched myself into orthorexia. Yeah. And like I allowed myself to eat more, but it was supposed to be specific foods, clean foods, all that jazz. And healthy foods is healthy, but when it goes on the mental side, it's not. And it was always with intention to lose more weight and to look fitter and hotter and sexier and all that jazz. Up until about 2015, I think, I was like, I thought I was recovering, but I wasn't. Like I didn't know what active recovery was. So I was just keeping on my orthorexia up until 2015 when I got a little health issue that I thought would just solve itself. But it didn't. It wasn't until 2017 where it progressed into autoimmune illness. Yes, it wasn't full blown, but I got like I could barely eat anything, and I was so inflamed, and I had eczema, and I was just, something was terribly wrong. So I had allergy testing, and I thought that I would get like a paper with "don't eat these foods" kind of stuff. But it was like, you are reacting to your thyroid. You don't, like, I live in Norway where it's cold like 8-9 months of the year, and it says you're allergic to cold. It's like, huh? And it was literally my body was attacking itself. I was allergic to my own insulin. So it was like, oh shit, something is wrong here. And the first intuitive hit that I got was, well, isn't that strange? You're a bitch to yourself. Like, how do you expect your body to know better if you're attacking yourself? It was like this tells this what to do, and I was attacking myself up here, so why would my body do otherwise? So that was the first hit that I got, and it was quite funny because before that, like a few months before, I had just found this self-love movement where you just practice in the mirror and all of that. So I tattooed some dots on my arms that I see every day, and I made a commitment to tell myself something kind every day when I saw them. And then just maybe a few months after, I got not a diagnosis because he was a naturopath, so he couldn't, but he was saying it was progressive. So it's like, oh shit, well, I need to do something. So I tried different diets, but it was always this hint, like this wish behind it that, oh, maybe this is the reason why I'm not have my hot body. Like, this may be the reason why, blah, blah. If I do this, maybe I will look good enough. It was always this little whisper behind my ear. Even though I focused on my health, it was this like little wish that didn't go away. Yeah, and then I started the Calm Academy in January 2019. And I wasn't aware of the thoughts. I thought I was just healthy. Like, I'm just focusing on my health. I have health issues. And then I started on the Body Calm course. And it all made sense. Because I had done everything to get rid of the health issues, but it didn't go away. Like, some of them progressed, like I don't have autoimmune anymore, but it was like still issues remaining and I couldn't get rid of them. Like, I dry fasted for 24 hours every week, and I did water fasts and cleanses, super clean foods, and I just got, it was just stagnant. And it wasn't until a wedding last September where I had been so focused up until that wedding to ride my bike every day to work, not eat any excess amount of fat, because the fat you eat is the fat you wear, was the belief I had, just to look good for the wedding. And I was so obsessed with it that it was the only thing running in my mind. And I had taken the Mind Calm course and the Body Calm and my detox at this time, but I hadn't committed to the meditation process because I was in this like, oh, just fix me. Like, I don't want to do anything, just fix me. And it wasn't until that September that I realized, because everyone was having so much fun, no one cared about how they looked. They were just there for the wedding, and they just didn't care. And I was there so obsessed in my mind, like, oh, what are they going to think about my legs? Oh my God, like all these unnecessary things. And I had one of the best nights of my life during that wedding. It was so much fun because I just let go of all the control. Like, I just let myself eat that night. I let myself have a few drinks like I never did before because of orthorexia. Yeah. And I realized the day after when we woke up, like, holy shit, I'm still in it. This is not life. No. And up until that point, I had also started listening to a few eating disorder recovery channels on YouTube. So it was this like intuitive thing, like, no, I'm done with this. And I knew that I was going to have to give in and eat everything that I had ever wanted. And I was probably, maybe, going to have to gain weight. And I knew that this one was not going to be easy. So that is one of the reasons why I committed to meditation. because I knew that I know meditation works.
Mhm.
And it shifted this whole thing from fix me and my health problems, to like, I need to fix this. Like, I need to commit to recovery to get out of this, because it's not a fun way to live. And that is also where I committed to my meditation practice. Yeah. So that's, yeah, about a year ago.
Well, and such an amazing story. And I actually didn't know. I knew you had a really inspirational story. I knew doing the course was really, really powerful for you, but I didn't actually know what you sort of started the course with and what you came with. And it's amazing. And I love the fact it was a wedding, a really joyous occasion, and watching other people enjoy yourself that really like triggered in you a realization, which is beautiful. So so you're saying that for you, a commitment to the meditation is what turned it around. And what I was hearing you say is, you know, instead of saying almost to an external person, fix me, by doing the meditation, it's about like saying, actually, the power sits with me. I get to make the change by making a commitment. So so what does meditation do for you? What do you get from it, and how's that enabled you to change the relationship?
Oh my God. Like, meditation is crucial for me. Like, if I don't do it, I really, really suffer. Yeah. Like, I noticed when I fall off the wagon and don't meditate for maybe 1-2 weeks, especially this year, with 100,000 opinions and all that, I tend to get very, very dark in my mind. And I find it just hard to not identify with it. It's like I become another person. And when I commit and meditate, it's things that would bother me when I don't meditate don't bother me. Like, I can notice them, but they don't have that much of an effect. It's yeah, it's a lot easier to live like that. And also with the food and body part, like, it makes it so much easier, because I'm in active recovery where I face my fear foods and all of that still, because I had a few relapses, this sneaky little thing. And it makes it so much easier, because I can see, like, for example, oil was a big thing for me. Like, I should not eat oil, blah, 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 blah. And before I started meditating, I wouldn't have seen that thought. But now when I do, it's easier to see it. And it's like, oh, you don't want oil? Well, then we have some oil then. It's like doing the opposite to retrain the voice up there, because it's going to, yeah, when it doesn't get fed, it doesn't get fed. So, yeah, it's a lot easier.
And also in certainly in the meditation practice that we share, it's about seeing the thoughts, but realizing that they're not real, not relevant, and they're not really required.
Exactly.
So we can just say, oh, look, there's a thought, and then get on with our life.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than, as you said at the beginning of the call, being a slave to them. And I think you bring up beautifully what a lot of people struggle with is that they listen to all of their thoughts and they try and either appease them or push them away or change them to positive ones. And some people can be driven like crazy by their own thoughts.
Yeah.
Just their own thoughts. And then for you, it manifested as an eating disorder and body dysmorphia. And what's the word that you're using? It's not anorexia, it's
orthorexia.
Orthorexia.
Yeah, it's not like a it's not like a set disorder like on anorexia and so it's more like a unspecified, but they know what it is. But it's not like approved as a official name yet.
And the truth is, I think all of us suffer with all these different conditions just a little bit. Just for you, the dial's been turned up, so you've really noticed.
Yeah.
So if you knew, and there are lots of people inside the Peace Project, you know, with all different challenges, if you could give one piece of advice to anyone listening to this that can relate to what you're saying, what advice would you give them?
Advice. What advice? Well, first and foremost, they have the power. Like they have their own power. It's just a monkey up there. Like I have named my Jack Russell. And it makes it so much easier to not take it seriously when it speaks. And also a tip number 2 is to learn the type of meditation that we teach. Yeah, reach out to someone who knows how to teach it. Like for me, for example, me and Nora are going to have a 6-week course where we teach people how to meditate and the reasons for a busy mind and the judgment that we do and the resistances we have. But we also have, I think, yeah, we'll have a free webinar where we talk about meditation and stuff. So, but we are only 2. There is a lot of us out there who would love to teach you, because this type of meditation is the only meditation that has had an effect on me, like in my day-to-day life. Because the other meditations are so visual, you're only in it when you meditate in it, and then it's usually like a visualization meditation. So it's in your mind, so you never get this break from it. But with the Gawu, you get. So that is a tip.
Yeah, definitely. Anything that helps our nervous system to rest.
Yes.
Relax. To take us out of that whole like fight, flick, need to fix, improve, change, kind of that like stress energy. Anything that helps us just to let go and just be peaceful and still. And life still happens, right? But we just let it happen. We don't need to go and fix this or change that, or you know. But I love what you said about, you know, you have the power. I think what keeps things in play for people so long is that they've forgotten how powerful they are.
Yeah.
And so by just reclaiming that power, we get to make a choice. And with that, we can make a new choice. So
absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us today, Mina. It's such a beautiful and honest and vulnerable share. And I'm sure that we've had a few people on the call that have said, you know, thank you for sharing this. And just beautiful to hear someone's journey and realize that actually, no matter how difficult things might seem right now, or how much you may be struggling, that actually you can make a change, you can make a difference, and it can be done. You are such a great example of when you're willing to commit and love yourself enough that things can improve. So I really thank you for coming on and sharing that with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. And if anyone's got any questions, pop them in the comments below, and I will ask Mina to pop on and answer them in the comment section. And if you want to find out more or connect with her and have a chat, I'm sure she would be willing to do that.
Absolutely.
Well, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank
Yeah,
you for
thank
joining
you.
us today, and we'll catch up soon.
Yes.
Yay.
Okay.